Hi everyone and welcome back. Today is going to be a quick little video. This is going to be my review and my thoughts of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, the 30th and final season ever of Power Rangers in this continuity that we've had since Mighty Morphin started. I'm not going to go too much into detail of what happened throughout the 10 episodes. I feel like the season was very short. Everything was kind of rushed. Obviously, there were only 10 episodes and they were only 22 minutes each. It basically starts off right where Dino Fury ended. It starts off with a nice big battle. Lord Zed, I think you can see his helmet over here, is basically the main villain of this sort of mini series, you can almost call it. It's almost like one of those like what they did at the end of season 3 of Mighty Morphin, where they had that alien rangers. Anyway, the Power Rangers in this battle, that happens. Lord Zed steals, like, he imprisons the Morphin Masters into this, like, containment tube or something, and he wants to use their power to basically be very, powerful. The Power Rangers end up having to go to another planet, and the show actually takes place in many planets. They keep switching from planet to planet. One of the planets where they go to is called Zordnia, and this is where they find the Cosmic Fury Zords. Actually, when they want to get the Zords, Javi inserts one of the staffs from the Morphin Masters, and actually his arm gets, like, blown off or electrocuted or something. So he had to have, like, a robotic arm for the rest of the season. We see Mick in in a few episodes. We see Billy in, I think, every episode or almost every episode, helping out. And also he pilots one of the Cosmic Fury Zords, the Wolf Zord, I think, the blue one. And so this would be his second blue Wolf Zord that he's piloted. You could maybe even say the third, because the Shogun Zord was sort of a Wolf Zord. And speaking of Shogun Zords, it is mentioned that the Shogun Zords were also found on Zordnia, where these Cosmic Fury Zords are. I don't know if that was mentioned before, back in season 3 or not. But anyway, so Zed, I guess I should mention that Ollie turns evil, and he's evil most of the series. Fern becomes the Orange Ranger, and Zaito becomes the Zenith Ranger, or something like that. It's almost like a grayish, silverish color, or beige, something like that. And Amelia, who was the Pink Ranger, is now the Red Ranger. To make a long story short, Zed basically traps the Morphin Master's powers. He uses it to become, like, Master Zed. He very easily destroys all the Cosmic Fury Zords, which I didn't like, because, I don't know, it just seemed like he was too powerful, or the Zords were very weak. Speaking of the Zords, I did not very much like the Zords. I'm a big fan of Zords and Power Rangers, and they were too bulky, and it's just too much AI, in my opinion. There was too much AI as far as the Zords goes. And then I can't remember if it's the last or second to last episode, we also see, like, 5 of the older Megazords. I believe it was the original Dino Megazord, the Astro Megazord from In Space, the Lost Galaxy Megazord from Lost Galaxy, the Beast X Megazord, I believe it's called, from Beast Morphers, and the Ninja Steel Megazord from Ninja Steel, I think. Which, it's cool to see them back, but what I don't like is that they were all CGI and they were all kind of like floating in space. I don't remember all those Zords having the capability of just flying, except for the Astro Megazord, right? Anyway, we'll skip to the last episode. Basically, Lord Zed infuses himself with the power of the Morphin Masters. He becomes very powerful, destroys the Cosmic Fury Zords, like I said. And then he gets entrapped into this thing by I forgot if her name is Bajilia or something like that. Anyway, it's like this squid or octopus monster, and her plan was basically to do this to Zed and to create a Zed wave, sort of like a Zordon wave that wiped out all evil. This Zed wave was supposed to wipe out all good. And the series basically ends with Zaito, who now basically he died because he used magic, and he used this magic because he was hurt in battle. The Morphing Master saved him, and they said that he only had a certain amount of time left on Earth. He used the last bit of energy to sort of save the other Rangers on Eltar, which is of course Zordon's home planet. This is that planet that Zed conquered. And a lot of references were made to Zordon. A lot of people, I think, believe, and I think it was supposed to kind of represent that Zordon was present in some way, because Ion kind of went into like a dream state or something, or his spirit got pulled somewhere when Zaito died, and he saw a figure that looked like Zaito, but it is assumed that it might have been Zordon because he told him, "May the power protect you." So yeah, Zordon is mentioned quite a lot. And anyways, Zaito comes back as a Morphing Master, and now he has taken the Power Rangers into this tube that is almost cracking, and if it cracks, of course, it'll wipe out all evil, or I mean all good. And he basically convinces Zed to give up his powers in exchange that he will stay alive, because if the tube cracks, then Zed is gone, as well as everybody that's good. So in my opinion, it was a very anticlimactic ending. There was no big battle really. It was basically Zaito and the Rangers telling Zed to give up his powers. And then we see him stuck on, I guess, a planet where you live your nightmares, and he's basically living alone with Rita. And the show basically ends with the Power Rangers having like little concert party or whatever, and you can see Zaito sort of like looking over them through the morphing grid. And Billy learns that Aeon has met this being that looked like Zaito but said, "May the power protect you." And of course Billy connected that to Zordon, and he thinks that Zordon is still out there. And that is it. 30 seasons of Power Rangers. It is over. Of course, some of the things that was good is it did have a lot of references to past seasons. We got to see Heckle as the Dark Ranger from Dino Charge. In a way, Power Rangers sort of in a couple of years, 2025 was supposed to be the beginning of SPD, and where Earth looked quite different with aliens living on it. And Billy did mention that, because of Zed's attacks and all these Power Rangers all over the universe protecting their, parts of the world or whatever, that aliens had been taking refuge in New Tech City, which is where SPD takes place. So if this is where we end Power Rangers, we can sort of safely assume that everything that happened in SPD is kind of good. Because if we had gone like several more years and there wasn't any aliens, then it would have conflicted with what SPD had done. Of course, this year we are not expected to get anything. 2025 is when we may see a complete reboot of Power Rangers that will be completely sort of American made. Right, there will be no more adaptations from other shows. As far as this being the end, I don't know. It was a decent season. I'm not gonna say it was the worst season. Again, I did not like the Zords very much. The suits were also very bad, in my opinion. Very bad. I feel like the helmets were okay, the arms, the legs were okay, but the sword, the chest, abdomen part, it was terrible. I don't know why they had to use that like foam stuff It's almost like those things that you use for Halloween costumes when you want to make yourself look buff or something, or it adds muscles or something like that. It's just, I feel like that was completely unnecessary. The weapons were okay. Um, the thing with the weapons and the belt buckles is they had those like the Power Rangers like lightning bolt symbol, which is a staple of Power Rangers logos, but it never really appeared in show. It appeared in toys here in America, but it that was not screen accurate. So to just have that on weapons and on the belt buckle and on the morpher, I think, I don't know if that was such a great idea. But overall, it wasn't a bad season. I feel like they should have spent more time. I don't know why they kind of like crammed it down to just 10 episodes, 10 very short episodes. Um, but yeah, I hope that the reboot will be better. This was not terrible, but I feel like they need to have a bigger budget and spend more time, make the make everything look more real, because the Zord stuff, that it did not look very good. Episode one started out great, kind of similar to Once and Always, where it was like this huge battle and they had these like shots of the camera sort of zooming in and out or something with lots of, you know, action going on. Um, so I know that they can do better. I think it's just a matter of having a better budget. And on a personal note, it's very interesting that in all of these 30 years of Power Rangers, we've had so many episodes, so many characters, so many Rangers, so many monsters, and it turns out that my favorite, growing up, the Blue Ranger Billy, he is the only Power Ranger to show up in, or the only character overall to be in the first episode and in the last episode of Power Rangers. Technically, Rita is there too, but Rita is sort of like an illusion in the last episode on the island. And that would be it for my thoughts. I know that there's so much more that we could talk about, but it's been already a while since Cosmic Fury has been out. I've sort of watched it kind of late. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Hasbro will do in the future with Power Rangers. So until then, as Zordon would say, may the power protect you.